Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're tackling a really peculiar one. The 2011 masked hero movie, Super.
Yeah, peculiar is the word. Critically, people appreciated the cast, definitely.
Yeah.
But financially, a total wipeout.
It just vanished. And it seems like the big reason was, well, it didn't fit the mold it was supposed to. The marketing sold one thing, the film delivered another.
Exactly. That's the core of it.
Yeah.
Our listener sent this in wanting to understand that disconnect. Why did a movie with this cast, this unique vision, just fail to land with audiences?
Right. So our mission today is to really dig into those sharp turns in tone, the genre bending that seem to confuse everyone, from viewers to the marketers themselves.
Because it wasn't really a spoof, was it? It sort of accidentally became this quite disturbing film about mental health, just wrapped up in a superhero costume.
Okay, let's set the scene first. The protagonist is Frank Darrbo, played by Rainn Wilson. And the sources, they pretty much call him a bit of a loser.
Yeah, he's a fast food cook. His whole world really is his wife, Sarah. That's Liv Tyler. She's a reformed drug addict, kind of his anchor.
An anchor that doesn't hold for long?
No. She relapses, gets high, and just leaves him. Moves in with the local drug dealer, Jacques. Kevin Bacon plays him. Brilliantly slimy.
Ouch. So for Frank, this isn't just, oh, my wife left me. It's like the foundation cracks.
Completely. It's a huge psychological blow.
Yeah.
And he doesn't process it like normal grief or anger. He thinks, okay, to get Sarah back, I need to fix the problem. And the problem in his mind is just crime. All crime.
Which leads to this incredibly strange moment of inspiration. It's not a spider bite, nothing like that. He thinks he has a visitation.
Yeah, a vision from the Holy Avenger. Nathan Fillion plays this character who's the star of some low-rent Christian TV show about an amoral superhero figure. It's bizarre.
So this sort of trashy religious vision tells him, what? Put on a mask?
Basically, yeah. He takes it as a sign.
Mm-hmm.
Masked vigilantism is his calling now, his spiritual duty.
But he tries to make it practical, right? He doesn't just jump off a roof.
No, and this is interesting. He goes to a comic shop. He actually researches heroes who don't have powers. The clerk there, Libby, that's Ellen Page, she kind of guides him.
And from this research emerges the Crimson Bolt.
The Crimson Bolt. And this is where Frank fully commits, deciding his life is now basically a comic book narrative. But his tools, they're not comic book tools.
Right, the alter ego details that kind of break the superhero promise immediately. His catchphrase is, "Shut up, crime," which sounds almost pathetic, but earnest.
Totally earnest. Wilson's delivery is key there. But then the weapon.
The wrench.
A pipe wrench. Not a batarang, not a web shooter, just a heavy metal wrench.
And that changes everything. That's not funny.
It's absolutely not funny. That wrench is like a flashing sign saying, forget what you thought this movie was. It's the moment reality just slams into the fantasy.
You expect rules, even in a satire. The wrench just throws them out. It tells you this is going to be grounded and probably pretty painful.
Yeah, absolutely painful. Which brings us straight back to why it failed commercially.
The marketing, you can pretty much draw a direct line, can't you? Market it as a superhero spoof.
Which set up these totally unfair comparisons with Kick-Ass. People went in expecting that kind of stylized, over-the-top, kind of funny violence.
But that's not what they got.
Not even close. The moment Frank puts on that suit and goes out, the film shifts. It stops being awkward comedy and starts feeling genuinely uncomfortable. The sources say audiences weren't laughing. They were thinking, is this guy okay? Like questioning his actual sanity.
So the marketing says laugh, but the first time that wrench hits bone, the movie basically says, just kidding, this isn't funny at all. Where does that tonal shift really cement itself? When does it become clear there's no going back?
I think it's who he targets. The violence, it's described as brutal and bloody. And not in a cool movie way. It's gritty, it's unsettling.
And it's not just the big bad guys, right?
Exactly. That's the key. He doesn't just go after Jacques, the drug dealer connected to Sarah. He starts attacking people for, like, everyday annoyances.
Ah, the cue cutting scene. That one gets mentioned a lot.
It does. Because the crime of someone cutting in line gets this incredibly violent, bloody response. The sources call it the bloodiest vengeance of all. And that's the moment, I think, where you really see it.
It's not about justice anymore.
No, it's about Frank's internal state spilling out. He's moved from fighting crime, linked to his trauma, the drugs, Jacques, to fighting minor social irritations. It shows his vigilante thing isn't about cleaning up the city. It's psychosis.
Yeah.
He's using this flimsy moral code to justify lashing out.
But couldn't you argue that's the point? The film wants you to be uncomfortable, to see the ugly reality behind the vigilante fantasy. Maybe making the audience recoil was, in a way, artistic success.
Well, that's the central tension, isn't it? Artistically, maybe it succeeds because it does show how disturbed this kind of thinking is. But commercially, it tanks. Because people paid for a genre movie, something familiar, maybe comforting even in its satire. They didn't sign up for raw psychological diagnosis.
The film asks, is Frank just quirky, or is he seriously unwell? And because it doesn't give an easy answer.
People checked out. They wanted a clear path, hero or villain, comedy or drama. This was stuck somewhere deeply uncomfortable in between.
And then things escalate even more with the sidekick. Libby, the comic store clerk, becomes Bolsey.
Played by Ellen Page, yeah. And she's described as the perfect foil for Frank. She doesn't just join him, she dials the madness way up.
How so?
Because she validates him. She gives his delusion external support. And when Libby puts on the costume, her own issues, which are pretty serious, come bubbling to the surface, the film gets even darker somehow, more violent.
So it's not just one man's breakdown anymore.
No, it becomes this really disturbing, codependent thing. Two people with significant mental health problems feeding off each other's violent fantasies.
It's incredible, though, that the performances were so praised amidst all this tonal chaos. Rainn Wilson, especially. How did he pull that off, shouting, "Shut up, crime," while looking genuinely unstable?
That's the thing. The cast is the film's saving grace, critically speaking. Wilson, it was only his second lead role, I think. He walks this tightrope between determined and just. Completely unhinged. Crucially, he never plays it for laughs. He commits to the delusion.
Which makes the violence hit harder.
Exactly. And Kevin Bacon as Jacques, the reviews loved him. He totally steals the scenes he is in. He gives Frank a believable, almost charismatic villain to bounce off. Even Michael Rooker as Jacques Muscle adds this grounded threat. The talent was definitely there.
So if the performances were great, we have to come back to the themes. The sources keep saying the genre confusion hurt it, but maybe that confusion came from the film dealing with really heavy stuff.
I think that's right. It's touching on loss, deep loneliness, mental health breaking down. It's not just a send-up of superheroes.
It's about trauma, really. How people cope or fail to cope.
Precisely. One of the strongest points made in the sources is that the film is ultimately more about mental health issues than anything else. Frank losing Sarah isn't just plot. It's the trigger for a full psychotic break that manifests as this weird, violent DIY hero fantasy.
And the comedy bits are just cover.
A thin layer, yeah. Almost protecting us, the audience, from the sheer horror of watching this guy completely lose it and try to fix the world with a wrench.
Okay, so let's wrap this up. What does this all mean for you, the listener? Super seems like a textbook case of a movie that just didn't give people what they thought they were buying.
Right. It was marketed like a light action comedy, maybe a bit edgy, but it delivered something much, much darker, more violent, more psychologically raw.
And it stumbled because audiences, frankly, weren't ready for that level of psychological truth, especially not wrapped in that particular package. The marketing really set it up to fail.
It makes you confront the potential reality behind any vigilante story. What happens when someone who's already struggling, lonely, maybe unwell, decides to impose their own absolute morality on the world with hardware tools?
Its refusal to be easily categorized was its commercial downfall, even if critics saw the ambition.
Which leaves us with a final thought for you to consider. When a film gives a really accurate, maybe disturbing picture of a vigilante's psychology, but it breaks the audience's expectation, in this case, the expectation of a light spoof, is the failure of the film's fault for being too difficult? Or is it maybe the audience's reluctance to grapple with dark themes unless they're presented in a very clear, very familiar genre box?
Maybe the biggest crime Super committed was being a little too real.